Hello, I am Mrs. Nelson and I'm an AP art teacher here at Moreau Catholic High School.
Hello, I'm Catherine Farinas. I'm a junior at Moreau Catholic High School and I'm in AP art.
And this is Teacher Features.
We're really excited today to be talking about the use of Wacom Drawing Tablet as a compositional device. It's used in digital painting, digital design, digital drawing, and my AP art student, Catherine Farinas, uses it as an emerging art tool that's different than traditional painting in many different ways. But one way is that you can go back and edit things. You can add to it at any point, any time within that form of art.
Well, what appealed to me when I first started using a tablet was that it was new, and not a lot of people really look at digital art to be like, something that they usually use. But I really like it because you use the pen like any other pen, and it's nice because all your tools are in one place, and it really it really helps you get a sense of texture, even though you don't usually use paint or anything. But it still uses brush strokes and pen pressure like a regular pencil.
So many of my AP art students are using Photoshop CS5 now. And Photoshop has many different benefits, and the one area over here is your actual toolbox. And all of these different tools kind of function like a normal art studio would function. You would have maybe different brushes, a pencil, and of course the list goes on in Photoshop, but you can actually make a stamp tool. You can do different paint buckets, so that's to fill some areas, like she's done over here. And really, this is where you start creating your image. So if I was starting from a new image, a new design, I would start with a new canvas. And I can pick the size here. And I can always change it as well. But we could just change this to 5. And I could change this to 10. And with Photoshop, you usually want to start with a high resolution, even if you're designing for the web, because you always want the best print quality. And that's something they learn about also in AP Art and many of the different digital classes here at Moreau. You can start even with a transparent background. So usually that's the way most artists start, is a transparent background because you don't want anything there. So this is called your canvas. This is the way that we start.
The reason why Photoshop and tablets go pretty much hand in hand is because, like what Mr. Franek said, it's a canvas, even though it's through a computer screen and not through traditional paper or whatever. It's still a canvas, and using a tablet is a lot easier than using a trackpad or a mouse, and it gives a more natural feel. So right now I'm using the tablet, and here's the pen and the actual tablet. Only this area is actually used for drawing though, so it's really not that big. And tablets come in a lot of sizes. Like mine is actually the smallest that it comes in, but they can go up to really, really big. So I'm just selecting the paintbrush tool and changing the size. You can make it however big or small you want. And to draw on your canvas, you just, like a regular pencil, just hold it and draw. And since I don't really need that, just easily step backward or undo. And then the layers again. Like earlier I had this for effect, but I didn't really like that, so I can just hide, or if I want to delete it completely, I can do that too. And yeah, those are all my layers. Usually there's a lot of layers, but it's easier to just compress them all to one.
So in AP Art right now, I have about 40% of my students, so it's out of 18 students, using the digital drawing tablets. And I've seen that number grow and grow throughout the years. And I wish students in the past had access to these tools because they're so beneficial, as we've discussed in this series, that you can go backwards, you can erase, there's so many possibilities. You can also use this within a photograph as well, if you wanted to draw over the top of a photograph, which has been done in the past in AP Art. And the programs that they get to use, the brushes actually mimic the physical media. So if you're using watercolor or you want to emulate watercolor, there'll actually be a brush that shows that type of texture. So if you go to your brush tools, and you can download lots of brush tools, you can make your own brush tools, but even looking right here, you have different types of textures you can create. You can create your own even. So if you want to stamp on a different texture and change the color of it or the size of it, there's endless options. So you can add texture or effects within any of your layers as well. The layers are really beneficial as an artist, as a digital artist, not only with being able to revert back, but also that you can produce as many pieces as you want, so you can make copies of this. That's also the benefit of digital mediums. That's why we're seeing more and more of these on billboards, on postcards, magazines. So you can keep reproducing these, and I think that's what also maybe attracts Catherine to the medium.
Yeah, the layers are really, really helpful. Like, not only with just making mistakes, but also like making emphasis and having texture on top. Like for this, there's different options for what you can have. So normal is just like that. And then you have the opacity, which makes it more clear and less clear. And I think it's really helpful because if you don't like it, you can always go back and take it out or add something else. And then you can layer different textures on top of each other and have all these different effects. So there's lots of possibilities, and I just like that. And using the tablet, all the graphics for my website was using my tablet, as well as collaboration among other people. But I think the tablet really helps people grow, because in the future I plan to actually be an animator, and a lot of animation today is done using computers and 3D models and all that. So naturally, the tablet comes in handy when drawing on a computer. And a lot of people use tablets for other things too. Like sometimes, I know for math, when you do math problems, you can use a tablet instead of just typing in numbers or using a trackpad to draw in numbers. My dream job is Pixar, because they're on the top, and I really appreciate how far they've come, because they were the first digital animation company, so they really inspired me.